Oh, hello again. It's Menenberg. And in this video, what we're going to focus on is the short answer question. In case you haven't heard or your AP history teacher hasn't informed you, there's been a change to the format of this year's test, if you're taking it online. Traditionally, we have 3 short answer questions as part of the first section of the AP exam. That's still true, but now, if you're taking it online, you have 2 additional SAQs. That's ABC for number 1 and ABC for number 2. You have 40 minutes to do these additional SAQs, and let me tell you, they're probably not going to be easy, okay? So we need to talk about how do you understand what is being asked on these questions. I've talked about dissecting LEQ prompts in other videos, check those out, but in this video, I'm going to talk about how do you understand what content that you have in here applies to the question that's in front of you for the short answer section. Okay, that's the focus here. So what I'm going to do, and you can follow along if you like, go to AP Classroom, look at, and I'll share the screen so you can see it. We're going to look at the Unit 6 progress check for the SAQs, okay? Now, some SAQs are like these, where they are non-stimulus based, okay? In fact, if I'm not terribly mistaken, you're only going to have 1 set of SAQs, A, B, and C, on the actual AP exam that don't have a stimulus. So this is a little bit more narrow focus. But if you look at these prompts and the wording of these prompts, it is broad, okay? And what I mean by that is it doesn't tell you exactly what content you need to use to put into your answer. Let's read prompt 1, or prompt A. It says, identify one economic benefit that colonial territories derived from imperialism. Now, you kind of know what the topic is, right? You know the topic is imperialism, and you've read about that, you've learned about that in class, but the problem for a lot of students is that you put on paper or in your answer something that is so broad that it doesn't have any level of specificity that is required to get the points. Remember our ACE formula, answer the question. So the answer to the question is going to be to name that economic benefit, okay? Now, the second part for the ACE is citing specific evidence, So in this case, you're going to probably need to name that colonial territory. So like, I don't know, South Africa for example. And then the imperial power, you're also going to need to name. That's, you know, Great Britain or whoever it is that you're choosing, wherever it is you're identifying. But you got to get specific in that specific, get specific with the specific evidence. And then the last part of the ACE formula is expand or explain that evidence. If you're speaking in generalities or vaguely about the concept of imperialism, you're not going to get that level of specificity. Now, the key here, and this is true for these other 2 prompts as you're probably glancing at them, is that there are many different choices that can work for each prompt. The reader has a general list, right? Because students, no offense, don't come up with really obscure ideas for these responses. Most readers will see the same, 4 or 5 general answers for every single student response they get. And so they have this list prepared for them by the College Board that tells them, okay, this is more or less what we're going to see on question 1A. And there's a bunch. Okay, there's a bunch. There's plenty to choose from. But what you can't fall into doing is just talking conceptually about imperialism during this time. You got to get into the details. And when it says 1, that means 1. Don't give 2, don't give 3. You only have space, and you certainly only have time to talk in detail about one thing, one specific economic benefit. And a specific economic benefit doesn't mean the economy went up or trade became popular. That is not a specific economic benefit, okay? You got to tell me what's going on. Talk about the textile manufacturing industry in India, okay? Something, I don't know. Pick your specific thing that you're focusing on and go there. You've done the research, you've done the reading and notes, you have the content. It's just about recognizing what part of that content in your brain applies to this question. As I look at this next question, describe the way in which imperialism contributed to global migrations in the 19th century. Again, there were many migrations in the 19th century that imperialism contributed to. You don't cover all of them, you cover one. That's it. And one way that imperialism contributed. This is a causation question. So again, it's just that idea that I know a bunch of different examples that would work, and I just got to choose one and give enough detail that gets all the points. But if you speak generally, you will not get the point. Okay? So again, the idea here is that we are focused on recognizing what we know and how it applies to this specific question. If you fail to do that, you're going to miss a lot of points. You're going to leave a lot of stuff on the table. Again, part of this preparation for the AP exam is just harnessing your knowledge in a confined, time-limited environment, in a high-stakes environment, okay? It's showing what you know in a high-stakes situation. If you had all day or you had a week to tell the reader, here's what I know, here's how much I understand history and all this stuff, you'd all get 5s, okay? That's not the case though. So you got to master yourself, and the faster you get at this, the more successful you're going to be, okay? All right. In the next video, I'm going to tackle a stimulus-based SAQ and see if we can understand the parameters of that prompt. So stay tuned for that. In the meantime, if you have questions or comments, let me know. I'm here to help. And remember, of course, life is about choices. We'll see you in a few.